Welcome to our new project, and this is how the land looks before we do anything to it. There's a lot of work that is going to be involved, and I just want to show you the amount of work that we are going to have to do. The land is steep, so you can see I'm even jumping. The land is very steep, so we are going to have to do quite a number of channels on the farm just to be able to control the flow of water and to avoid erosion. And we are going to plant quite a number of things on this farm. So one of the things that we've spoken about is that we are going to be planting goat feeds for the goats that we are going to acquire. We're going to be planting them somewhere. A good amount of land is going to go to goat feeds, and then the next bit will be maize. So maize and goat feeds are going to take quite a huge chunk of land, and then we'll be doing more vegetables on the remaining part of the land. So you can see, like on this part of the farm, it's all grass. There's no farming that has been done in the last couple of years. We don't know how good or bad the soil is, but there's going to be a lot of work, especially on this upper part of the farm. So for this land, unlike the upper part of the land where we do minimal tillage, here we are going to be tilling the land just because it's quite vast, it's quite big, and it will take a lot of resources for us to be able to put raised beds. But probably in future, maybe we will consider that. The land is quite vast, so we are going to till the land, remove all the waste, and use it to stop the erosion. We'll put it along near the channels, and we are also going to use cover crops like sweet potatoes. So just because our land is steep, just before every channel, we are going to have cover crops just to reduce on the amount of soil that is going to be eroded. Our rough estimation is that this land could be slightly more than an acre. So we are going to see how much we can actually produce from this acre. We may have mentioned before that on this part of the land, they've mainly been growing maize and beans for the longest time, probably over the last 20, 30 years. So we are going to switch things up a bit just to be able to restore the soil a bit. Of course, we'll still plant maize and beans, but we're going to be using some of the compost and manure that we have on the upper part of the farm and bring it here because we think that this soil needs more compost than the upper part of the soil. And even when we start keeping the goats, definitely we are going to be having more compost, so we can be using it even on this part of the farm, just to keep improving the soil fertility and to be able to harvest more things. On this day, we just decided to pick some sweet potato vines and also to pick some arrowroots from the farm, from the upper part of the farm. These are what we are going to be planting on the lower part of the farm. Yeah, so just getting a few. As you know, arrowroots always multiply, so we'll not be planting many. We'll wait for them to multiply. Yeah, so here we're just picking more arrowroots, and we'll also pick some more sweet potato vines. We'll not have enough of this, right?
No, but around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we also got some cassava stems that we're also going to plant on the lower part of the farm. Yeah, so we picked some more sweet potato vines, and here we're just preparing them. We have two varieties of sweet potatoes that we are going to plant. Yeah, so right now we are just preparing the vines so that we can plant them. These are the cassava stems that we got, cut them into small pieces, and now we are preparing the place where we are going to plant them. Yeah, just one row of cassavas for now. Yeah, so here we are just planting the cassava, laying them down horizontally. Yeah, just so on that part of the land we'll have cassavas, and then on the channel we'll put something else, and then on down there we have the sweet potatoes which we already finished planting. So this is one of the channels that we've created just to prevent the flow of water. And this is the place where we'll be planting some arrowroots. So yeah, we just planted a couple of arrowroots on 2 different channels. And arrowroot always multiply, so that's why we are leaving enough space for them to multiply. Yeah. The other thing we did on this day was to plant the yellow maize that we harvested from the land that we had leased. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks since we started working on our new project, and we just want to take you through what we've done so far and what we are going to do even in the future. So what we started with was planting the beans that you can see here. I don't quite remember the name, but we've planted 2 varieties of beans. We have these ones, and we have some yellow beans that we planted a bit later. And then also the maize that we harvested from our leased land, the yellow maize, we planted a bit of it here and also on the upper part of the farm. So now, when we were working on the farm, we planted these ourselves actually. So when we were working through the farm, there are some things that we found out about the soil. And one of those things was that there are no worms, there's no living matter in the soil. So what we know for sure is that we need to generate a lot and a lot and a lot of compost for us to be able to revive this shamba. Because remember this farm. So because remember that this place, the farm, generally people have been using commercial fertilizer to grow whatever they've been growing. But for us, we really like to use the natural ways. So we'll need to just generate a lot of compost for us to be able to revive the fertility of the land. Now, after planting beans, we also planted arrowroots, and we planted the arrowroots along the channels. Yeah, we are still cleaning up. There's a lot of physical work that's going on. We are still cleaning up. So the arrowroots, they're doing pretty well. They're about 2 weeks or so on this area, and we can see that they've started to they've actually started to look healthy. Yeah, so the land goes all the way up there, up to the last to the banana plants that you can see there, and so it's going to be quite an exercise for us to revive the land around here, given that we found there are no living organisms in the soil and things like that. So the fertility of the land is in question. But so it's going to be quite a task to bring it to how we'd want it to be. However, we've already started the process. We are already composting as we usually do. So slowly by slowly, we are giving ourselves a lot of time. We'll be using compost on this land. Probably we'll section the land and start with certain areas and then go to another area, so that by the end of it all, the soil comes alive. Yeah.
Yeah, you've just been shown the size of the land, but let me show you the boundaries. From this end, you can see the bananas on my right. Those are not on our land. They are from our neighbors on the other side. So we are just up before the bananas. And then the other side is from this side. You can see there's a fence going up, and we've left a path there where we can pass when you're accessing the land, the family. Yeah, so apart from the fertility of the land, we have other challenges that we have to overcome. It's going to be a long battle doing that. We have one, the mice. I don't know what they call mice. They're like rats that live on the ground. There's a lot of them here, especially when the crops grow. So we have to keep on fighting those ones. And we've already solved the issue of water, soil erosion by water when it rains, because you have the tunnels along the different sections of the land. Now the other thing is, I think security, which it's a long-term thing, and we're going to explain to you how we're going to start dealing with it. That's a big challenge again, especially if you live in the village. That's a big challenge, security, especially nowadays that there's a lot of inequalities and idleness and everything. So we're actually onto that. The biggest issue about security here is you can see our land knows fence, and it's not, we don't have very secure fences like normal rural Kenya. You can see we just have hedges on the sides. You can see on this side, you can just walk across to the other side. So there's challenges when the crops are mature, there are people come in and steal and all that. And we don't even have dogs to deal with that. So it's a challenge that we have to deal with, because this is the first time you're farming on this section, and we are ready for it. We know it's one of the challenges that happens here. People steal maize, people steal beans, people steal your fruits and all that. But we are ready, and we're going to do our best to overcome it with time. As this is a learning experience. This is the first time you're farming on such a large scale over here. And we know there are going to be challenges, and we are ready for those challenges.
So another thing, this place had a lot of bananas when we first came here. So what we've done, we've brought down all the bananas, and this is because these bananas are the kienyeji bananas, and on the farm that we've been showing you, we already have those. So we felt we didn't need these ones. And again, we didn't want bananas on this part of the land. We've actually done more arrow roots. I don't know if they're visible, they're quite small. Yeah, we've actually done more arrow roots. So that's one of the reasons why we got rid of these bananas. And then on the upper part where we have another channel is where we are going to put sweet bananas and another variety of bananas that is not local to this area. Yeah, so what we've also done is we've started incorporating fruit trees. So here we've planted, I think there are 5 or so citrus plants. We also plan to do several more, like pawpaws, some mangoes, and some avocado. So for now, we've gotten the citrus, and we'll be showing you as we put in the other fruit trees. Yeah, so here we've planted sweet potatoes, 2 varieties. I don't know whether they have specific names, but we have this one that has a purplish vine, and then we have this one. So, and one of the reasons why we planted it here is that the land is quite steep. So part of it is just to prevent erosion and just act as a cover crop on this area. Finally, on this area, we've planted some collard greens. Yeah, there's the issue of theft and all that, but we just wanted to have some more vegetables planted. So hopefully we'll not experience as much theft. But we have some collard greens, the kienyeji ones. They are doing quite well. They've been on the ground for probably a week or so, and they're doing quite well. Yeah, so now on this other part, we had to do anything. We had to plant anything. It's quite a physical task. We've never planted on this scale. So this part and the upper part are still not planted. On the upper part is where we'll do the feeds for the goats. And here probably we'll do some potatoes. If we find groundnuts, we'll try groundnuts on this area. But that's the plan. So before the rains, the heavy rains come, we'll have planted majority of the land. Yeah, and hopefully even without having enough compost, at least we'll be able to harvest something. On this part, we've also planted some cassava. They're yet to sprout, but they're along this row. Also part of it is just to be able to prevent erosion. You can see how the land is steep into the channel. Yeah, and this is the place Actually, this channel is a place where we plan to plant the sweet bananas and the other variety of bananas that ripen, the big ones. Not sure of the name, but this is the channel where we'll be planting those ones.
So we've gone some way out of practice what you would have really wanted to do over here, but it's a new land we have, and the biggest task we have is just getting it to as fertile as possible. Let's take a few years, maybe the next 3 or 5 years. So usually we would not have dug the ground the way we have, but it's impossible to put beds on this land at this point, and especially the way it has a slight what do I call it? It is hilly, so there's a slight incline upwards and downwards. So just a moment. So yeah, that's the reason why we had to dig and remove the weeds that were there, and now start planting fresh things and rotate all the crops that were planted here before. This place has been used to plant maize and beans, I think so, for the last 50 or so years, actually more than that. And so it's going to a huge task. The land is not very fertile. The soil is not very fertile, you can see it. Moisture leaves it very fast. You can see it's not even binding together. So we have a lot of work to put in compost, to bring life into the soil, and that's a huge task. But we are up to it, and we're going to do it over time and progressively. So yeah. Yes. So we have really loved sharing with you our prospects for the new project that we are doing, and we actually hope to turn it from how bare you saw it to something like this, nice, green, with a lot of food and vegetation out there. We understand it's going to take a long time because we want to do this organically. And to grow up, we want to grow organic food. So it's going to take a long time, being the land has been used for so long incorrectly, as we believe. So now we have to take time, also take many seasons and years to bring it back to a very the soil to its top quality soil, so that you can grow more food. And we are happy to take you through this journey with all the challenges. We appreciate the challenge that's going to be. There's going to be a lot of challenges, especially on the compost part, because we don't have those many animals, but we need compost. And you can see the land is almost 1.5 acres, so you need a lot of compost over many years to do that. But it's the beauty of self-sufficiency, as it's a journey you go through until you reach, you convert such bare land into a nice place like this. So yeah, so this is going to be a long journey, but we are going to share it with you step by step, and we appreciate you being here, walking this journey with us. That's it for today. Please share this video with your friends, like and comment, and also those who are watching and have not got a chance to subscribe. It's very simple. Please just hit the button below here, and you become a member of this self-sufficiency family.